Shalom. First off, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Yahweh being the true name for the Father, Yahweh Shai being the name for his only begotten Son, who the world eagerly calls God, in Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us the truth and will well, and citations, hopefully, person is truth, and all honesty and sincerity. Spirit of Yahweh, because you know this is the spirit power, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I'll give you another update in times and events. Now, this is an article. It says Bill Gates invested in artificial eggs before mysterious egg shortage and price hikes. Now, if you know the last lesson that I uploaded, you had a recent chicken farm go up in flames, the third largest in the U.S. And there's been all types of poultry farms going up in flames mysteriously, as they say mysteriously. Through the spirit, we can know that these things are being done intentional to control and more control over the food production in the U.S. And Bill Gates has also been buying up massive amount of acres and land all over the U.S., to prevent people from being able to continue their normal farm production. They want to control the food to be limited to lab-grown meat, quote-unquote plant-based meat, which is another article I'm bring up is going towards not being plant at all, but just straight insects and, printed steaks, things like that, man. And this is nothing new under the sun, because they did this in the ancient time too, during the times of Daniel, and they had to refuse to eat the wicked meat that the king was putting out there. So they've always tried to control, what the masses eat for their own financial gain, and also to save their pockets too. But the way the Lord had it ordained, he has certain clean and unclean foods. The Lord said, be fruitful and multiply. And if you honor the land Sabbaths and keep those things, then you won't have any problems with the land being over-farmed or over-fertilized or things like that. You won't have none of that wickedness going on. But this goes to show they got some type of agenda going on. All of a sudden, all the egg farms and shit are going up in flames, and here's an alternative. Here's some artificial. Who the fuck wants to eat some artificial eggs, man? And that's poison. They're already trying to fill people up with this stuff they came out with. The people getting their arms and shit. And you got people dying suddenly all over the place. This place is a straight death machine. That's why we need deliverance. So I got a couple scriptures that go into it. This is the book of Ezekiel 4:13, and it says, and Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. So this is part of a punishment, part of a curse. We get stuck in captivity and have to eat this terrible food, defiled bread. Okay? Now, we can still do the best of our ability to try to eat lawfully according to the scriptures, to avoid eating things such as pork and catfish, duck, and shrimp, crab, lobster. All those are considered unclean foods. You're not supposed to eat those things, contrary to what the Christian church teaches. The Christian church tells you it's okay to eat all that, and that was done away with. But that's a bull-faced lie, man. The Lord said he come not to change the law, but to fulfill. Okay? We're not supposed to touch the unclean thing. And it's full of parasites and worms. And here's another article that I was referring to. It says, are insects set to follow plant-based in becoming new meat alternative? Okay? It says, hold on, Salaki, let's see, ad popping up. Alright, it says, insects and alternative protein. The edible bugs industry is receiving widespread business support, with Bloomberg reporting that it could be worth a staggering $8 billion by 2030. Okay, it says, and while no plant-based companies are revealing plans to start adorning insects in their products, the wider meat industry has begun outstretching an arm of using mealworms, maggots, crickets, and beetles. Mealworms, maggots are unlawful. Now, crickets and beetles are lawful. It's in the scriptures that you can actually eat some insects, and that's the locust and the beetle. That's it. There's nothing else listed in there as far as insects go. Alright, but the maggots and mealworms is going to be the masses of what they try to force the people to eat. And there's already rumors that a lot of these plant-based burgers and things like that aren't really necessarily fully plant-based. They have insects, man. Okay, it says they added, and insects are in the easiest things to make delicious. They take on the flavor of whatever you feed them. It's because the change in perception surrounding plant-based meat that insect startups have begun to take a note. Okay, so eating insects, you know, and they're being lumped within the plant-based industry. All right, it says the realm of alternative protein can be overwhelming to grasp with the soaring scientific techniques and technology that can literally print meat without animals. But in daunting news, the latest ingredient to grace the faux meat industry could be insects. So it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You see this on the screen here? You're not supposed to eat this crap, man. That's wickedness. This is the book of Daniel 1:8. But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. There you go, man. We don't eat the king's meat. You should not want to defile yourself with that. You know? And in verse 9 it says, now Yahweh had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs. And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who hath appointed your meat and your drink. For why should he see your faces worse likening than the children which are of your sort? Then shall ye make me endanger my head to the king. Then said Daniel unto Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs has set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, says, prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and I will and let them give us posts to eat and water to drink. All right, so he's saying, hey, look, we're going to prove that our diet is much lawful and much better than what the king has said, put out there. Give us posts to eat, and posts represents vegetables, fruits and vegetables. It says, then, verse 13, then let our countenances be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat the portion of the king's meat, and let thou see us deal with thy servants. And say, watch how much better we're going to look after this. And we'll prove to you it's better. All right, verse 14, it says, so he consented to them in this matter and proved them 10 days. And at the end of 10 days, their countenance appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat. In just 10 days, that diet switch, man. So in the midst of all this defiled bread, it's good to go on a fast. Do a Daniel fast to try to cleanse your body to the best you can. Now, take it with a grain of salt, because a lot of the vegetables that we can get are GMO, genetically modified, or they're sprayed with all types of cancer-causing pesticides. You know, but you can still get some type of nutritional benefit from it. It's good to go on some type of vegetable fast when you can. Try to do it 10 days. You know, and so you can see the results as well. But ultimately, eat lawful according to the scriptures. Okay, you can find the dietary laws in the book of Leviticus, the 11th chapter. All right. See here. This is the book of Deuteronomy 14, verse 1. It says, ye are the children of Yahweh your God. You shall not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead, for thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy God, and Yahweh hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all nations that are upon the earth. So we're chosen. We're special above everybody. All right. And verse 3 is the point. Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. There you go, man. Don't eat nothing unclean. These are the beasts which ye shall eat: the ox, the sheep, and the goat, the hart, the roebuck, the fallow, deer, the wild goat, the parag, and the wild ox, and the chemius, and every beast that parteth the hoof, and cleaveth the cleft to 2 claws, and chew the cud among the beasts that ye shall eat. Okay, so part the hoof, cloven-footed, chew cud. Cud is grass, meaning you eat a lot of hay or chew hay. All right. Cloven-footed, meaning the fur on their ankles is above the hoof. And then it also needs to have a split hoof, have an actual hoof and be split, not toes. All those. Now, pigs are split at the hoof, but they don't just chew cud. They eat everything, dead rats, whatever. So don't eat swine. Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof, as the camel, and the hare, and the coney. For they chew the cud, but deny not the hoof, therefore they are unclean to you. And the swine, because it divided the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, is unclean unto you. You shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. There you go. Okay, unclean at land animals. Verse 9. These ye shall eat that are in the waters. All right, so seafood. Here you go. All that have fins and scales shall ye eat. So they got to have both scales and fins. That's an easy, fail-proof way of seafood. All right. It says, and whatsoever hath not fins and scales, ye may not eat. It is unclean unto you. There you go. Now, poultry. Of all clean birds ye shall eat. But these are they which ye shall not eat. All right. So the unclean birds include this: the eagle, the ostrich, and the osprey, the glede, the kite, and the vulture of it, and after his kind, and every raven after his kind, the owl, the nighthawk, and the cuckow, and the hawk after his kind, the little owl, the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gear eagle, and the cormorant, and the stork, and the heron after his kind, after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. So basically stick to like chicken and chicken are birds that are related to chickens. You got quail, chicken, turkey. Okay, turkey. I believe even ostrich might be in that category, like a giant. It's like a form of a giant turkey almost. You know. So that's it, man. That's it. So follow the law, statutes, commandments, man, and do your best to stay clean and amongst this this wicked land of defiled food. You know, and Esau's really attacking the poultry industry heavy, because that's one of the most sustainable industries for meat production. It's very easy to raise chickens. All right, extremely easy. You get a lot of turnout quickly. You know, chickens can lay anywhere between 2 to 3 eggs a day, and you could easily have 6 of them. You do the math on that, and just the egg production you get alone, and then you allow some of those to hatch. You know, just half of those to hatch into little chicks, and they grow into meat. They're at slaughter size in just 2 months. So you think about that. So that's why they're attacking that part of the industry heavily, if they can control that. So you might want to consider alternative means to getting your meat in the times to come, until this whole thing shuts down. You know, then we won't pretty much have anything. We just have to rely on the Lord and divine intervention to provide food for us. You know, so with that, Lord's will, lessons edifying. I'm going to close out. Give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, great millstone, to us for truth and will well, and citation to hopefully presents truth and honest sincerity. Shalom.